The Russian Navy launched a Zircon hypersonic missile at a simulated target in the Barents Sea as part of its ongoing Zapad 2025 joint exercise, the Russian military reported on Sunday. According to Associated Press, the strike was conducted by the Admiral Golovko frigate of Russia's Northern Fleet. The Defense Ministry also said that Su-34 bomber crews, covered by Su-57 fighter jets, practiced a bombing strike as part of the drills. The exercises, dubbed Zapad 2025, are being held in Belarus and Russia and will last through Tuesday. They are intended to showcase the close defense ties between Moscow and Minsk, as well as Russia's military might amid its ongoing conflict with neighboring Ukraine, now in its third year. The main maneuvers are taking place in Belarus, but parts of the exercise are also being conducted on Russian territory and in the Baltic and Barents Seas.
Учебная тревога, комплекс ракетного оружия к бою, стрельба по морской цели гиперзвуковой ракетой. Режим взаимодействия автономный, вид работы УКСОС боевое использование. Тип целеуказания практическое.
Данные введены согласно карты ООДа, готов к решению стрельбовой задачи.
Стрельбовая задача решена, маршрут выработан, досягаемость до цели обеспечивается.
Корабль на боевом курсе следует по графику, отставания опережения нет.
Окончена предстоящая подготовка, к пуску готов.
3, 2, 1, корабль в точке пуска.
Есть, пуск!
Есть пуск, начат пусковой цикл.
Ukrainian troops launched counteroffensives in recent weeks to retake Russian-held territories in the strategically important Pokrovsk region in eastern Donetsk region, capturing at least 69 Russian soldiers during these operations since early August, Kiev Post has reported. This marked the largest number of Russian troops taken prisoner by Ukraine in over a year. Some reports suggest the number may exceed 100, based on official statements and unit communications reviewed by the Kiev Post. Units from Ukraine's air assault infantry and National Guard have released videos and statements confirming the capture of Russian servicemen. In late July, Russian troops launched a surprise incursion in the region, creating a 15-kilometer deep salient near Dobropilya, threatening Pokrovsk, a critical logistics and communication hub. Russia had earlier declared Pokrovsk a key objective for its 2025 spring-summer offensive. In response, Ukrainian command assembled a strong counterattack force, regaining about two-thirds of the lost ground. Ukrainian sources estimate over 1,000 Russian casualties and say remaining Russian forces are now encircled in isolated pockets. Estimates vary, but several hundred to a few thousand Russian troops may be trapped. While the Kremlin and Russia's defense ministry have not acknowledged the setbacks, they claim continued advances in Pokrovsk. The analytical group Defense Politics Asia noted in a September 7 report that prisoner captures by Ukraine in August represented a dramatic increase from July. The last time Ukraine captured a similarly high number of Russian soldiers was during a cross-border raid into Russia in August 2024, when 200 to 250 Russians were taken prisoner. By contrast, Russia's largest capture of Ukrainian troops occurred in May 2022, when approximately 1,700 soldiers, mainly Marines and National Guardsmen, surrendered in Mariupol. Captured Russian soldiers around Dobropilya said they were ordered to infiltrate Ukrainian lines in small groups and wait for reinforcements, often hiding in basements. A video from the First Corps released on September 9 shows Russian troops confirming their capture and stating they were being treated according to the Geneva Convention. Other media showed 17 captives on a bus. Most prisoners were aged 20 to 30, though some were older. Most were Russian nationals, but at least 3 had Ukrainian citizenship and were allegedly forcibly conscripted in Russian-occupied territory. 2 had previously been captured and exchanged before being recaptured. 3 identified themselves as GRU agents. 1 captured soldier said he joined due to financial problems and unemployment in Russian-occupied Crimea. Another Russian prisoner, aged 49, said he joined the army to pay off $35,000 in debt and had been drunk when he signed his contract.
The Ukrainian armed forces have carried out a precise strike on a Russian army command post in the village of Voskresenka in the Zaporizhia region. The attack took place on August the 30th and, as has now become known, resulted in significant losses among the enemy's officer corps. According to Ukrainian officer and military blogger Anatoly Stefan, the deaths of at least 2 lieutenant colonels of the Russian army have been confirmed. We are talking about Dmitry Pashabekov and Ruslan Shigabutdinov. Obituaries for them appeared several days after the destruction of the command post. In addition, according to monitoring resources tracking the losses of Russian troops, another 15 officers of various levels and 1 private were eliminated in Voskresenka. According to available information, it was this group of commanders that coordinated the offensive actions of the occupiers in one of the directions of the front in the Zaporizhia region. Another successful strike by the Ukrainian armed forces on an enemy command post could be an extremely painful loss for the Russian army. Such operations are aimed, among other things, at undermining the enemy's offensive potential in a specific direction. Russian forces planned large-scale offensive actions on the Zaporizhia direction, but the armed forces of Ukraine did not allow these intentions to be realized. Commander-in-Chief of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, Oleksandr Syrsky, recently said that Russia was forced to postpone the offensive in Zaporizhia and redeploy Marine Corps units to Donetsk. In August, the enemy counted on strategic advantage, a breakthrough and encirclement of our troops in the Pokrovsko-Mirnograd agglomeration, and also planned active actions on the Novopavlivka and Zaporizhia directions. However, our forces did not allow these intentions to be realized. According to the Commander-in-Chief, the defense forces did not allow losses of territory on the Gulyapol direction. The main efforts of the Russian forces were concentrated on the Lyman, Dobropilya, Pokrov and Novopavlivka directions, where they used a tactic of advancing through the interpositional space and tried to avoid direct combat. Overall, in August, the invaders' manpower losses amounted to 28,790 personnel, and since the beginning of 2025, 297,350 Russians have been killed or wounded. President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelenski, noted that the situation on the front line in the Zaporizhia region remained stable. At the same time, the Russians are increasing the deployment of airborne troops in the Zaporizhia direction, which raises concerns about possible further actions by the enemy.